First and foremost, I'd like to give our praises and our glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKodash. Our honors to the elders and apostles of Great Mount Stone. Shalom to you, brothers and always and always. Preaching, teaching this word in sincerity and in truth. You know, this is your brother Shapal from James Jamaica camp. You know, with a quick one. You know what I mean? Let's take it a night's stroll. You know, I decided to do this lesson basically. And what this lesson, and you know, doing this lesson, it's just right over the top of my brain. You know, I personally, I'm planning to do a well put together lesson on this topic, and what I'm speaking about is, you know, the state of our youth today, you know, and speaking about the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native American Indians, you know, us being the biblical Israelite, where scripture speak of the Lord's people, you know, chosen people, you know. However, now we are under the curses, you know, facing the curses, right? And what prompted me to do this lesson is based off of the what we're seeing in the media. I think it was like a couple of days ago. We had a female child, you know, stab another child, which is also a female, you know, I mean, to death, in our local school out here in Kingston, Jamaica. You know, and when we look at these things, man, we see the level of hatred, the level of demonic, spiritual, you know, there's so much demonic spirit, you know, manifesting itself in these times. You know what I mean? And we really have to pray, you know what I mean, for ones that have children and pray over them. But saying that to say this though, the scripture shows, you know, how we're supposed to bring up our children, you know. Even though we're under the curses, man, you know what I mean, we have to pray that how Ba'ashem Yahushai, you know what I mean, have mercy upon us, you know what I mean, upon our youths, you know, guide and protect them through, you know, going out, you know, and them coming in, you know, praying and all of that. But I want to get into a short, it's just a brief lesson to touch, you know what I mean, on this thing, you know, because we as men of this society, men of the Lord, you know, we have a level of understanding what's happening right now, you know what I mean, and whenever we see certain things happen, we know that through the scriptures, you know what I mean, it is the will of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and it doesn't stop at death, you know, but it's life itself playing out, you know. I don't want to keep ranting on and on, but Ecclesiasticus 30 and verse 1. So he that loveth his son casteth him off to feel the rod, that he may have joy of him in the end. See? So this goes for not only son but daughters, man, right? So it say he casteth him off to feel the rod, meaning beat him, you know what I mean, spank him, discipline him, you know, because at the end of the day, the scripture tell you, but a tree not broken, you know what I mean, out in Jamaica, we say you have to break the tree from it young, because when the tree get strong and whole, you can't really bend it, you know, bend the tree. So, all right, let's continue. It's he that chasteth his son shall have joy in him, and shall rejoice of him among his acquaintance. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy. Before his friends he shall rejoice of him. And though his father died, it is as though he were not dead, for he had left behind him, for he had left one behind that is like him. So normally how it used to raise up your kids, you know, the ancient days, you know what I mean, especially at the house of Israel, is through the laws, statutes, and commandments, which will make you like unto the Lord, man. And once one follow that, is a direct path, you know what I mean, which leads to true righteousness. You know what I mean? And once, you know what I mean, that that's why when people say, you know what I mean, you have the spitting image of your father or your mother or such, man, you know what I mean, it is also a spiritual image, you know, different from the physical. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, when the scripture say, oh, even though he has died, man, he had left one like unto himself. You know what I mean? Whatsoever you teach your youth, the way how you are, man, your youth are going to embody that. And you have a lot of parents out here in Jamaica, man, it's just pure madness. You know what I mean? They're so far gone from the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua and his laws and status. You know? And so it's always good, man, if you teach your youth your ways and how ways are the laws and status, because it grieves the enemy. You know what I mean? Because all of your enemy, man, would love to see the house of Israel destroyed, man. Your house destroyed. Alright? Continue to say, he that maketh too much of his son shall bind up his wounds. Alright? And his bowels will be troubled at every cry. So if you make too much of your child, man, you know what I mean, you have to really set them up for a failure. Right? Discipline is the way to go, man. Always discipline them. Right? They say, a horse not broken become headstrong, and a child left to himself will be willful. No, a horse not broken become headstrong, because you know you have to break horse. A wild horse, you have to break them first, man. You know, and one of the way how I really see them break horse, you know what I mean, is to have them tied up for a while. You know what I mean? Make them feel hunger. So when them hungry, them weak. So when they go on to ride them, you know what I mean? You know, them not have no energy for really, you know, kick up and, you know, and then you take time and you feed them and then you break them. So you have to go through a stringent. That's just one of the ways, you know. So you have to go through a harsh process, right? So there's nothing wrong for break a child in the right way, man. It's just say train up a child in the way he should grow, and we get told he will never depart from it. Right? So it's a yeah, man. So you say our child left himself will be willful. Now, if you left a child to himself, right, or you neglect certain values to put into the child, that is still neglect, because a child need that to grow. So if you don't instill certain values in them, man, they basically them left to themselves. You know what I mean? Because the laws and statutes, you know what I mean, certain values, you know what I mean, which the Lord gave us, man. When you instill that in a person, it separates you from the common man. Alright? And they use them till they don't have that. You know, them really not have that. So verse 9 says, cocker thy child, and he shall make thee afraid. Play with him, and he shall bring thee heaviness. Laugh not with him, lest thou sorrow with him, and lest thou gnash thy teeth at the end. Give him no liberty in his youth, wink not at his folly. Bow down his neck while he is young, and beat him on the sides while he is a child, lest he wax stubborn and disobedient unto thee, and so bring sorrow to thine heart. Chasten thy son, and hold him to labor, lest his lewd behavior be an offense unto thee. See? So it's basically what the scripture says, man. You know, discipline him, beat him. You know what I mean? Break him in the way that you want to break him in, and that's gonna be some lick. You know what I mean? When I say for abuse a child, when I'm speaking about child abuse and all of these things, you know, but you really have to take, because look, pain teach you. Pain is the best teacher, man. Right? Pain is the best teacher, man. I know. I was brought up with strict parents who would whip my behind whenever I misbehave. Right? So you know, you're not supposed to wink at a lot of folly what them do. You're not supposed to be to uphold with certain things that them doing, right? But push through discipline, and you know. So it's right. So it's also back in verse 13. It says, chastise thy son, and hold him to labor, lest his lewd behavior be an offense unto thee. Right? So better is the poor being up. Okay, so basically it's going to something different, but yeah, man, yeah, hold him to labor. You know what I mean? Because that's right there. That's responsibility, right? You have a sense. Devil give work for idle hands. You know, that's what we'll see out here in Jamaica. You know what I mean? So whenever you're idle, you have too much time to do a lot of bullshit. You know what I mean? And that's what happened the youth them today. They're being disorderly. You know what I mean? Them people that are raising them were not even trained to raise kids. You know what I mean? And so you have a generation of monsters. You know what I mean? And let's go back to the curses. You know, but the Lord will come to fix all of them, and that's what we're waiting on. So, but I want to give a praise and a glory to how about Shimmy and Shah, Shimmy Orthodox. Give honors to the elders and apostles of greatness. So, shalom to your brothers and barriers and barriers, preaching, teaching, spreading sincerity and in truth. Shalom. Yeah, man.